All right, everyone. Can mewing alone split the mid-palatal suture? I don't know, but I think it's possible. And it's probably more likely if you're younger. The younger, the better. You know, Dr. Mew says 8 is too late for orthodontic expansion in children, right? So Dr. Mew likes to expand in children younger than 8 years old. When a child is younger than 8, the suture is flexible enough to just throw in, I believe, something similar to like a Schwartz expander. And you can really pop open that suture and create massive diastemas in children under 8 years old. He says 8 is too late. So I think up to age, look, I'm just throwing numbers out there, 18, it's probably still possible to cause real significant changes in your facial structure using the tongue alone. I like what Astro Sky has done. I like what Tomazzo has done. Have they split the suture? I don't know. Probably not. And I don't think either of them would say they have. I have been in touch with a few readers who have given me very compelling accounts of their own experience splitting their own mid-palatal sutures using just their tongue in an extremely, zealous mewing practice. Do I believe them? I do believe them. The accounts they've given me are full of detail and are seem very legitimate. And these are people that I've been in touch with in some cases for well over a year. So yeah, I believe it. They've claimed that they've mewed to the point where they've actually felt some kind of split occur, and they've seen a diastema form. They've recorded changes so significant that, for example, they've had to get their glasses adjusted because this area has gotten so wide simply from their mewing practice. Do I think it's possible to split the suture using mewing alone? Probably. Now, I want to also talk about why that's not the road that I went down. So I started mewing in 2014. I found Dr. Mike Mew online, I think as far back as then. I was living at the monastery at the time, and the Buddha actually teaches in 3 different places in the Pali Canon to keep the tongue pressed on the roof of the mouth, which is very interesting to me. And so I came across that while living at this Thai forest monastery, and I started practicing meditation while keeping my tongue pressed on the roof of my mouth. And I became really interested in that practice, started Googling around, found Dr. Mike Mew's stuff. I think eventually stumbled onto the Claiming Power website. That was fun while it lasted. Don't know what he's up to now, but he was a good guy. I actually did a consult with him back in the day, and he was pretty helpful. But I was never really able to gain traction in my mewing practice because I think my maxilla, it just was too small for me to mew comfortably. So that really never took off for me, and immediately I sort of decided that I wanted to go all in on this, and I started pursuing orthodontic expansion as early as 2014 when I met with Dr. Hang in California and had a consult with him, and then I met with Dr. Lawson in Aurora, Colorado, and eventually became his patient for Schwartz expanders. Piggybacked off of that into AGA in 2017, and then from AGA to MSE in 2019. So, yeah, I very early decided I'm not going to fuck around with trying to split my own suture with my tongue when I can just use these orthodontic appliances to my advantage and try to get them to help me pop that suture, or get them to try to help me get more playing room for my mewing practice. So, is it possible? Probably. Did I want to bother fussing around with that? No. Why? Why do it other than financial reasons, right? But at the same time, yeah, MSE is expensive, but time is money too. And so why spend 2 or 3 years maybe accomplishing a fraction of what MSE can do in terms of maxillary expansion when you could just take out a payment plan on MSE and pay a couple $100s a month and get those results within 2 months, right? Like, come on, like if you can't earn a couple $100s a month to pay down an orthodontic treatment that's critical to your well-being, it's critical to every aspect of your life, to the way you look, to the way you feel, to the way you function, to your energy levels. If you can't find a couple $100s for that, then where are your priorities at? What are you spending money on? And if the issue is that you're not spending money elsewhere, it's that you're not earning that money, well, then why aren't you earning that money? Are you a teenager? Okay, fine, understandable. I get it. You don't have a job. But are you in your 20s and you can't afford that? Why the fuck not? Why can't you afford $200 a month on a fucking MSE treatment? All right? Like, dude, you got to do a little soul searching if you're in that position. I saw some people complaining about the cost of orthodontic treatment. Well, then, where the fuck are your priorities at? All right? If you're not willing to put down money on that, then what the fuck? So, yeah, that's my thoughts on whether or not the tongue can, whether mewing alone can split the suture. Short answer, I think it probably can, but I certainly wouldn't want to bother spending 2 or 3 years struggling to make that happen, only to find out that maybe in my particular case I couldn't make that happen. So it's about all for now. Peace out.